looking at the technological advances. I used to be on dial-up looking for...
Welcome to 3 Count Commentaries. We got to talk about NWA Powerrr from August the 31st, 2021, the post-NWA 73 episode. So we're going to start this thing with Camille and Tom Latimer, who are out there to complain about Billy Corgan putting them in unfair situations. Camille had back-to-back duty. That she didn't like that. She could have been hurt. She could have been injured. Tom Latimer, absolutely hilarious. He just sounds like a madman with that accent. Just sounds like, English Scott Steiner. And he talked about, Camille is already the best. You have to stop. You don't have to test her. And that he could have been hurt in that street fight. And all of this is conspiracy Corgan, up to no good. And then here comes Trevor Murdoch, world champion. Trevor Murdoch, who looks less like a peeled boiled potato in a suit. Instead, he was wearing like what looks like shower curtains on his back. And he cut a pretty good promo, and I actually enjoyed it and thought it, was from the heart. It's pretty real. And he talked about, the respect he had for Nick Aldis and all the time he put in, and that he's good for business. He's a good company guy. He's good for business, even though he doesn't like him personally. And, after when he comes back from his sabbatical, he's going to welcome him back, whatever. I thought that was pretty nice. It was nice. And then he closed by saying that essentially he just wanted to kind of be like Harley Race and to follow in his footsteps. And he feels like he's done that. Now he's ready to, have carry the company on his back. I liked it. It was solid. So then we got a promo from the Champion Series winners, which was Jax Dane, Colby Carino, and Pope. Max Man also won, but he decided not to speak. Colby Carino wanted to thank you because he won the thing for everybody, and he kind of had a little man complex about not getting picked. I have no idea why Steve Carino's son looks so much like Austin Aries from a distance. I have no idea. Like when you get the camera right up on Colby Carino, he looks just like his dad. When you pull out a little bit and you hit that profile, like that side look, he looks just like Austin Aries. And if I was not paying attention, I would have thought it was Austin Aries, except for Austin Aries probably shorter and older and more temperamental. In any event, nobody cares about Colby Carino. So the Pope says basically he was kind of healing up on I think it was it May Valentine I was talking? Anyway, he's basically trying to say like this question wasn't really all that smart. He kept saying like there ain't no dumb questions, Daddy. But the questions that you don't ask. But it was kind of done in a sassy way where he was kind of like, why are you asking me this? Anyway, in any event, we get to Pope being Pope. And he starts talking about, there's a war going on in the NWA. There's a war of opportunity. And when the Pope gets his opportunity, I'm just kind of like, Pope, turn it down, dog. Please turn it down, Can you please not be Pope for a minute? Just 1 minute. Behave and talk like a normal person without constantly raising your voice. It's a war of opportunity. I'm like, Pope, come on, man. You ain't got to do all that. Jax Dane ran down his resume again and said he's not concerned about Crimson. Okay, whatever. First match on the show. Kiera Hogan defeats Sky Blue. Mickie James is on commentary talking about how she's known Kiera Hogan for a long time, and she met her eventually when she was 17. She, of course, addressed being attacked by Tiana Perazzo, whom she says was just trying to steal the spotlight, but her spotlight is too big. After Kiera Hogan wins, she goes over to the commentary booth to confront Mickie James for reasons unknown. Even Mickie was confused, and Mickie was trying to be nice. She was like, "Oh my God, I thought your match was great. It was so good. Like, why are you yelling at me, little black girl? Why are you yelling at me?" Then we went to another promo because we got Taryn Terrell. Taryn Terrell looks great. She's got to be like 40 something, right? But her like boobs are out like all the time. Like it's just part of her character, obviously, right? But she's got this ditzy, still stuck in high school kind of thing going on. It reminds me like of something out of American Pie. Like somebody, a horny teenage boy would really be chasing her around the neighborhood all the time. And she'd probably like it, if, we're being honest. But she was being very annoying in this situation again. She called Lady Frost a frozen TV dinner, which I thought was hilarious. Then the Hex came out there and said that they did all the work. I guess this was from the 6-man tag they were in. I was like, that was kind of a throwaway match on the pre-show. Why are we building storylines out of that? In any event, the Hex were kind of like, oh, Little Miss Frosty just wanted to take all the credit. And I'm like, damn, both teams don't like Lady Frost? Like, you would think she was a babyface the way that Terrell was ripping into her. Then you think she was a heel the way that the Hex was ripping into her. In any event, she wasn't there to defend herself, so we just kind of like left in the lurch. So then Paola blazed and Marty Bell started yelling at each other in Spanish. I didn't understand any of it. I don't think anybody else did either. Terrell started to shriek. Then La Rebellion was standing there. Mecha Wolf I was about to call him Mecha Wolf 450. But Mecha Wolf and Bestia 666. And they're just standing there. And the girls is going back and forth. I'm just like, what is going on? Somebody make sense of this. So, La Rebellion basically say that they're the tag team champions. They say something in Spanish. Then we cut to the next match or the commercial or something like that. It was just nonsense. Then we get the next match, which is El Rudo and Nick Stanley versus Rich Freeman and Captain Yuma. Technically, the teams were the Rude Dudes, El Rudo and Nick Stanley, versus the Ill Begotten, Rich Freeman and Captain Yuma. This was a tag team tournament qualifier. And the only qualifier we will actually have, because they announced all the teams later and I didn't write them down because I was kind of like, what is going on here? And I'm looking at this match and I'm saying to myself, Corgan needs to be blessed with the gift of discernment. You don't have to book everybody. From the looks of this card, I could get booked on NWA. Like, some of these guys have no business here, and I get it. He doesn't have a lot of money. He wants to create opportunities, especially among people who are, not so well known. But you don't want to make the NWA look like, you can just come in off the street and Corgan will be like, sure, you're booked, kid, get in there. Like, no, man, come on. Let's have some standards here. El Rudo and Nick Stanley win. I don't know what this means. Doesn't matter. The tag team tournament just has teams in it. Thankfully, La Rebellion was there to share in my frustration at this tag team thing. So Mecha Wolf basically, the guy Davis, he asked Bastia if he had something to say. He had nothing to say. Mecha Wolf originally said he had nothing to say, then I guess changed his mind. Then he says that they worked hard to be the tag team champions, and now this tournament is full of nobodies and people they've already beaten. So they're going to take the tag team titles and go off to Mexico until you figure out who our number one contenders are. And I was thinking, like, that would have been great. That was great for this following match because it was literally that. People that don't matter, So, I'm okay with them just saying, look, we're going to fuck off to Mexico until you guys make up your mind about what you're doing here. I was okay with that. So then, as per, I guess the usual on NWA now, as somebody else is talking, there's somebody else walking down the aisleway. So La Rebellion's promo was barely over as Chris Adonis shows up with Melina, oddly enough. And Chris Adonis starts talking about how, Melina is not just one of the best female talents, but one of the best talents, period. And she's not booked on this show. And then he blames Billy Corgan and saying that it's Corgan trying to hold Melina down. To which the interviewer, I'm just going to keep calling him Davis, because I don't remember what his hell his name is. And Davis decides he wants to confront Chris Adonis about, you guys in Strictly Business can't blame everything on Billy Corgan. It's like, sure they can. I mean, who cares? Melina then cuts a promo on Camille, saying that she liked Camille more when she didn't talk. And, why do we have to hear from her so much? Which, of course, is an interesting thing because Adonis is in Strictly Business and Camille is too. And now Adonis is hanging out with Melina and Melina is trash talking Camille. So it's like, okay. Then Father James Mitchell comes in and, whatever. And he's got his Judas guy with him and he fires off all of his big words. You know how Father James Mitchell gets about, Adonis winning the title for the second time, put him upon the pantheon of the gods. But he's gonna get beat up by the high priest Judas. I think what didn't Father James mention? Wasn't he that guy that set himself on fire in ECW? Yeah, he burned himself in ECW, didn't he? I remember him talking about this. Yes, he surely did. He was the guy who burned himself in ECW. That was hilarious. I can't believe he's still around. I know he was in TNA all those times as a business manager, but he will always just be the guy who burned himself on flash paper or some shit. That's all. His shit was 20 years ago. It had to be like 20 years ago. But I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it. But that shit was hilarious. So Adonis basically was like, I'm not afraid of you or your eyebrows, and you know, if you mess with me, you mess with all the Strictly business. He had to tell Melina that too, because so she could leave Camille alone. I believe Adonis and Melina have that UPW connection. They were both trained or at least recruited by Rick Bassman. At least I don't know if they were there at the same time. I'm pretty sure they were though. I know that Master's a little younger, but I think they were in that area around the same time. So that's kind of their connection, but they didn't say that. I just happen to know it. So the next match was Kenzie Page versus Chelsea Green. Kenzie Page wins with a roll up, and then Chelsea Green goes full Laurel Van Ness because the girl only knows one speed, and she loses this match. Next thing you know, her makeup is smeared all over her face, and she's screaming and yelling about how she should be the champion, and that she is her cup, and she should be the champion, and she's yelling at the cameras and stuff. I was like, okay. She wanted to do this on Raw. She wanted to do it on SmackDown, rather. And she's like, fuck it. We're taking this act to NWA. We're going to take the act everywhere. You know, I got an act. We're just going to travel around with it. That's old school Carney stuff, you know. Not going to blame her for it. Because I guess people kind of like Laurel Van Ness. I think that whole wedding thing that they were doing, where it was like the bride and Laurel Van Ness and all that shit they were doing in Impact, I could not stand any of it. I did my best to pack all of that shit into one compartment in my brain and blast it the fuck out. That's really, I did the best I could to forget all that stuff. The only reason I even remember the character's name is because we did that thing about Chelsea Green on this channel not too long ago. So she's back to that character. But I gotta give Chelsea Green some credit. She's a hustler, man. She has wormed her way into Impact. She's now in NWA, seemingly for the long term, and she's still doing her Ring of Honor thing. Hey. Got to give a girl credit. She's out here trying to get it. It's all good. That's the benefits of being a free agent. Go for it. So then we get James Storm. James Storm cuts a promo. Basically, he said that the pandemic taught him that, nothing is more important than family. And that, he ran down all these beautiful things he got a chance to do with his family while he was sitting at home. And then Austin Idol came in being very loud. Another one who raises his voice as he talks. He cut him off and introduced Tyrus' opponent, because the whole thing was Tyrus was going to defend the television championship against a person that was handpicked by Austin Idol. He ended up picking Black G's, who was not too long ago actually aligned with them. Tyrus gives Black G's the big thumbs up, thinking Black G's is just going to lay down for him. Didn't happen. Black G's tried to actually wrestle him. And, of course, he loses because, Black G's is a midget. Jordan Clearwater is kind of like, he wanted the shot. He wanted the match. Black G's is like, no. Let me handle this. Let me do it. So I'm guessing we're going back to that tension between these two camps. Not thrilled with this Tyrus thing. Nobody has ever gone from, I don't care about them, to Big Show levels faster than Tyrus to me. Like, he is so close to just being Big Show and just me rambling about how much I dislike him every week. He is so bad. He is so bad. The only thing he need to do is turn babyface and heel back and forth 100 times and be in one place for 15 years. And he'll be Big Show. But he ain't got there yet. So NWA, not bad. You know, they have some players. They didn't, you know, throw everything that they have at this card, which is fine. You know, it's a post pay per view show. Have a chance to plant some seeds for future stories. There's nothing wrong with any of that. I say go for it. Seems like Chelsea Green is going to be around for a while, which is good for their division because they kind of needed to replenish it. It's just unfortunate that she's already lost to Camille, so you have to ask, like, what is she going to be doing? They set up this Kiera Hogan and Mickie James thing, and it seems like Mickie James is also going to work on Impact to finish her thing with Deonna Purrazzo, so that should be fun. I just wish we were kind of working on somebody for Trevor Murdoch to wrestle, because especially if Nick Aldis is not going to be there, it's a perfect time for another heel to step up. You know, maybe even Tom Latimer or something like that to move up and you know, get that shot. Even if you don't win, you know, it's been a long time since another heel has gotten a shot in the NWA. So it's a good thing that Aldis is going to be gone for a couple of tapings probably. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel, donate to the channel, and I'll talk to you guys later.
The skin tone, so why attach yourself and piggyback the wealth you didn't earn or lack yourself? I'm telling you to own up to your own success and failures. It's a reason why these sleazy guys